All right, man of God, welcome to day 20. Day 20. Yeah, Jesus is alive. The grave couldn't hold him. Death couldn't hold him. He's alive. But you know what? Some of his disciples didn't believe it. In fact, most of them didn't. And the women at the tomb, the women who went to the tomb and didn't find his body, they believed it. They went and told the disciples that Jesus was alive. So on a couple of different occasions, the disciples were in a room. They were hiding because they were afraid. It wasn't popular at that time to be a friend of Jesus. Remember, as he was going through his trials, Peter was asked 3 times, "Aren't you one of his disciples?" And Peter denied 3 times that he ever knew him. So after he is risen, Thomas now has an issue. Thomas doesn't believe it because he hasn't seen it. So as we focus on verses 24 through 29 today in John 20, I want you to hone in on, draw your attention close to verse 28. Because it's Thomas, the guy who doubted, the man who said, "I am not going to believe until I see the nails that have pierced his hands, and I see where the spear went into his side, and where the nails have pierced his feet." In fact, Thomas said, "I got to put my hand in his hand where those nails were." And so one of those times when Jesus was away from his disciples were in a room behind locked doors, afraid. And with his glorified body, he shows up in the room. The first time the disciples saw Jesus, Thomas wasn't there. So he needed proof. Jesus knew he needed that proof. And so when Jesus shows up in the room, when he appears in the room, and I'll let you unpack that, but he had a glorified body. Remember, he was resurrected. And he just showed up in the center of the room. And when he did so, he turned to Thomas and gave Thomas the proof that he needed. He says, "Here, put your hand in my hands where these nails were. And put your hand in my side, Thomas, where that spear went." And Thomas, doubting Thomas, became an instant worshiper. So in verse 28, Thomas says, "My Lord and my God," as he worshiped Jesus. Now I want you to think about this fact. Thomas had the rare opportunity to be convinced of Jesus' resurrection with the exact proof he needed. He needed to put his finger in Jesus' nail-pierced hands, and he needed to put his hand in Jesus' sword-pierced side. And Jesus was shown to, number 1, be alive, for he had risen indeed. Jesus' resurrected body, I want you to know, it did not have the limitations of his physical body, of our physical bodies. Even though it bore the marks, it didn't have those limitations. For he stood among his disciples, and they were in a locked room. How does that reality resonate with you? And remember, Jesus said this, "Thomas, it's good that you believe because you've seen, but blessed are those who believe who have not seen." So Jesus counts you as more blessed than Thomas, who actually put his hands in Jesus' nail-pierced hands. Jesus considers you more blessed because you believe without having seen that. But I'm here to tell you that whatever the exact evidence is that you need to believe in Jesus, like he did for Thomas, he'll do for you. And when he does, just worship him. He'll receive your worship, for he is indeed your Lord and your God. All right, that's day 20. We're almost there at day 21. I'm excited for you. Stay on it, and I'll see you tomorrow at day 21. Bless you, brother.